What are you saying, ladies and gents? It is your boy BucketHatSam, and yes, we are back again today for episode 16 of the BucketHatSam Talks Ball Podcast. But straight away, we're going to go straight into it to our sponsor. Thank you again to Surprise Shirts for sponsoring the podcast. Go check them out. The link to them will be in the description below. Me and Mike today are both wearing shirts, and same as last week, if you're on audio, just go and look at us. We look absolutely gorgeous.
We are
it's
beautiful.
Filthy. It's disgusting. Like, we look too good. That is the problem. But yeah, absolutely banging shirts. You won't be able to get them anywhere else, so go check them out. Go subscribe to them because they're amazing. But let's get right into it. Today we've got two guests on. Mike is back and Sai is back. The two of them. I'm trying to think of a really good intro.
Popular demand.
Sai upset a lot of people last week, so we thought we'd get him back on. He annoyed a lot of Villa fans, so there's no Villa talk today. Hopefully, I don't think so. But how was your weekend, guys?
We could have some little digs at Villa.
We could, to be fair. There's no one to defend them, is there? So,
like their defence.
There we go. 1-0. But no, good weekend.
I didn't even plan that. Sorry.
That was fast. But good weekends.
Apart from all of our team's football results, then yeah, maybe.
If this wasn't a football podcast, then I would have said, yeah, great weekend actually. Yeah, even Sunday League, everything just went to pot. Absolutely everything. But we've got to go straight in and talk about the absolute cracker of a game that was Sunday. And I'm going to straight away say one of the best games of football I have ever witnessed. And after that game, I wanted to make a video on it. I thought, do you know what, actually, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this beautiful thing because this is why I love football. And I get so excited about it. And it's just, wait, I don't even know where to start. What did you make of the 2-2 game, Liverpool-Man City? It was just, wow.
I think you're right in saying it's one of the best games this season. Absolutely.
It's just
the big games, there's always a lot of hype, and there's a lot of times it doesn't live up to the hype, and it's a boring game. There's a one goal between everyone trying to cage off. Yeah. Both teams are going for it, and it was really great to see. Both teams were desperate for that win. And the draw was probably a fair result, to be fair, but just the intensity, the overall atmosphere, just a great spectacle to watch. Absolutely.
I don't think the draw was fair at all. I think Man City were robbed. 2 red cards should have happened.
The draw was fair.
Fabinho should have been sent off. And Thiago should have been sent off. That challenge from Fabinho is a straight red.
Do you think?
I believe the only reason why he wasn't sent off was purely because they didn't want to disrupt the spectacle. There's too much pressure on that challenge is so high up on the ankle. Any other club would it be? I know this is
separate debate.
This is the inconsistency we've got.
Because we've seen so many challenges similar to that with smaller clubs. With less pressure games where referees would show the red card.
About these smaller clubs, right? About the
I know
City Liverpool game, one of the best games we've seen in years.
That was the only thing that wound me up. But do you get where I'm coming from slightly though? It's the inconsistencies because you've seen that being red carded. The Thiago one, 2 yellows. Don't get that one either.
No, because the first one he's fouled before.
Yeah, but even if he's fouled before, he's still fouled after.
No, the play stopped. He's been fouled.
Yeah, but if you can, you can be carded outside of play. He kicks somebody. Even after the game, even after the ball stopped, I
think you'd be then making the referee he's forcing a decision then, rather than just letting the game flow. You're doing it just for the sake of it, really.
I just think
it would ruin the game.
There's not really many people in uproar about the red card, and I think that sort of explains.
Not even Pep said nothing. None of the players have said anything.
And that sort of speaks volumes.
I'm standing up.
Fair enough. That sort of speaks volumes about it.
Sorry, because VAR. We'll stay clear of it.
Just what an advert for the Premier League that was. Having the 2 best teams go at it like that, and they are over the past 3 years quite comfortably the 2 best teams in the world, and we're very lucky to have that.
Yeah,
the 2 best club teams in the world going at each other toe to toe, and like in a lot of previous seasons, you literally can't split them.
Yeah.
Opposing styles of play, but you literally cannot split them at all. They are that evenly matched. And I think if they played each other 10 times a season, you'd probably get 8 draws.
Yeah, because they have got that perfect record between the two of them, haven't they? Pep and Klopp. Yeah. It's joint. There's no side that's got
it's amazing.
More on the other. Yeah.
And you could argue with that as well. Pep's always had the better team. Not right now, but when you got Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich.
Oh, I only Munich Man City.
Was far
I don't know.
From previous clubs. Yeah.
I didn't know about overall, but
I thought watching the first half an hour, I thought, City could run away with this here. Once that De Bruyne goal went in...
the first 10 minutes, I thought there could have been 3.
Once the De Bruyne goal went in and you saw that they were like, the crowd was right behind them. So, oh God, this doesn't look good for Liverpool, because I fancied Liverpool before it. But the way they just fought back and the way Liverpool came out in the second half, it was just like the perfect Klopp identity, like the way he sets up his teams, like going at it just gung-ho.
Sorry, all the listeners. I was trying to adjust my chair then. Sorry, that was really loud. I just realised I felt like I was leading up to the microphone. I feel bad now. Carry on. But I completely agree with what you said. But I listened to a few interviews with, there was one with Trent earlier in the week, and Klopp had told the players that this is the biggest game of the season and it is theirs to lose. So he put the pressure on the players, and I thought that's not usually a Klopp kind of mindset. He's usually very happy and jovial, and I've never seen him put pressure on the players like that. And at the first 10 minutes I thought, oh, their heads are gone. But it's testament to them, fair play, to come back.
Massive.
Because as you said, the pressure was just ridiculous. It was mental.
And it could have gone either way. And, if I did crumble, then it is 5 or 6. Because I say, Man City started so strongly.
I think it would help if Sterling could finish at all. Because I think Sterling, the amount of chances, I'm sorry, I know that the offside goal and things, we don't need to get back into offside and onside because it was offside, but he had a big chance earlier on as well, didn't he?
Yeah, the one at the back post.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I get Sterling misses chances.
It's so frustrating as a footballer for Man City, but the thing is, he misses big chances.
Not for me.
But he gets in the positions.
I think
he gives you that much where it doesn't matter. He's going to miss chances, yes, but he's also going to score 15 a season from the wing.
The best thing about Sterling...
He's frustrating. I completely agree he's a great player, but he just frustrates me sometimes because I want that consistency, because I know there's a player in there. I think he can still go up another level.
But I think Sterling does the things that you don't realise. So by him stretching the game, gives players like De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva the space. Without Sterling, defences just play like the ball in front of them. They haven't got to run behind them. That's what Sterling offers. He stretches the game out for Man City to give other players, better technical players, the ball to space and time to do what they need to, like De Bruyne with his goal.
Yeah, I also think Gabriel Jesus did that really well. I thought he was really
I was surprised to see him starting.
Really surprised.
He was really good. Great finish for his goal.
Took that well, because that's not an easy chance.
No, it's a top finish, yeah. Because Alisson's made himself look massive in that goal as well.
Yeah.
Did you say you would score that then?
Yeah, I did just shout that. I thought I'd go away with that, but no, it was a very good finish, and the thing that was my worry for him, because he's not played many games at all this season.
No, he hasn't.
But I didn't realise the amount of assists he got and things. His goal contributions this season has been actually quite good.
Apparently he likes playing out on the wing more than the central striker role. I think that's what he started doing for Brazil, and they've had the benefit, the rewards of it.
Oh, definitely.
It was start of the season though, it was on the right mid, wasn't it? And people go, hang on, for a striker, he's actually got a few goals, a few assists here. He's not, I think, scored like 15 Premier League games from that, but then outside of that, he's been scoring in Champions League, and that's so. Obviously, he just rises to the bigger games, maybe.
Yeah, I quite liked it though, because I thought when I first saw that front three, I was a bit baffled and I was a bit confused. But then you saw the game plan; it was pace in behind, pressure, and then, as you said, give space for the likes of De Bruyne, because that isn't the most conventional front three. When you see that on paper, I was a bit like, well, who's playing where? But it did work. It did work at the start. Just later on, as I said, that's why Sterling frustrated me, because I still think if he'd have taken his chances, the game obviously could have been completely different. And then it's the if buts and maybes discussion, isn't it, really? But no.
And we don't do them.
Yeah.
We don't do them.
Who was your man of the match from the game? Are there any players that really stood out for you, more so than anyone else? Because I thought Salah was a ghost in that game.
I don't know. I thought City defended him quite well, but he still found a way to impact the game, and I think that's what great players do. Even if he's not scoring, he's going on this big drought and a lot of people are doubting his form, he's found a way to impact the game. He's provided a great assist. He's worked really hard all game. He's dragged people out running with the ball. So the fact he's impacting games still. I'm not buying this Salah slump. I know he hasn't scored from open play and all this, but goal scorers do have slumps, and as soon as he breaks it, they'll be banging them in again.
And it's, you don't know whether all the stuff going on, there's negotiation talks, whether that's affecting him and things, because a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
There's a lot of rumours in there around his name currently, saying he's going to stay, he's still wanted, or does he still want to stay?
Yeah.
You know, this could be his last big contract in his career. Does he want to go to, and try another league in Real Madrid or Bayern Munich or whatever?
Yeah.
Or does he want to stay at what is one of the best teams in the world right now?
Yeah, and I think with the signing like Diaz and Jota coming through, when we were talking about this like golden age with Liverpool and this team, could they really push on for years to come? But we're seeing players like Harvey Elliott stepping up, Diaz, Jota, younger players. It's shown
even Curtis Jones, who I really like. I think he's a good player.
I think Curtis Jones is criminally overrated.
No,
I think
I'm
not a fan.
Massive on Curtis Jones.
I think he's good. I think he's average. I think he reminds me. And this is when I say this is comparison now. He's like a Harry Winks in the sense of the actual fan base love him loads.
That's a bit
but
stretch. That's harsh.
No, because I don't think he'd walk. Curtis Jones, I don't think would walk into any other top 6 side. I don't think he would.
Not in the starting 11.
Well,
no.
yeah, exactly. Winks.
No, but I'm saying I don't think he would. Top 10 side. Could you name a top 10 side he'd get in the team? I don't think he'd get in any top 10s team.
Where Brighton right now?
Outside the top 10, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's anyone in the top 10. That's what I'm saying. I think he's overhyped quite a bit. I think Harry Winks comparison, that was really bad. I meant it in the sense of not as a player. I meant as the fact that if Harry Winks only is he wouldn't get into any other top 10 side.
Okay.
The same as Curtis Jones. That was a comparison, not as players.
I think because he's still so young, he can flourish going forwards.
Yeah,
progress into
maybe
a good player. We've got great players around. You can only learn and get better with them around there.
I think he can be a good squad player, probably at best. I think if you're going to make the jump, I think he's 21 now.
He would have made
it. You look
by
at
now.
Players like Ramsey doing it at 20. If you're going to make that, I know it's harder to break into the Liverpool team, but I just don't see it. I watched him. He played both games in the League Cup against us, so I was there to watch both of them. And he's got some nice touches. He moves with the ball well, but he doesn't really do that much. He doesn't influence play like directly.
Like Thiago.
Harvey Elliott's a great comparison, I think. 2 youngsters, both breaking through. I think, and Harvey Elliott's only converted to a midfield, like a centre midfielder recently, and I think he's already doing a better job. And you can see he was young, and he nailed down the spot. And I'm pretty sure he's younger.
Yeah, I think he is.
He came from Fulham, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, and he was a winger at Fulham.
Yeah.
So he's come further back, and he was a winger at Blackburn when he was on there on loan. But yeah, Curtis Jones, it's a difficult one. He still potentially could. We don't really know where his ceiling is. I don't think we've seen enough of him, personally.
Last year we saw a lot of him, but then this year not so much because they've had less injuries this year, granted.
Injuries, wasn't it?
Yeah, players like Naby Keita actually step up.
Naby Keita's had a good season. I think this is a thing with the Liverpool squad now. Like previously we've said they've got a small squad, they rely on 12, 13, which was accurate. But I think now they've invested really well. And you look at the bench, who they were bringing on yesterday. You've got Firmino, Luis Diaz and Naby Keita, who's had a very good season coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Like that is now where they rightly should be, like at the top of the game in Europe. Like that squad is worthy of going all the way in all the competitions, but which they're still in, aren't they? They're still in 4. They're running for 4.
They're not doing the quadruple, aren't they?
They could do it.
But their front 3 now, they've got 5 top class / world class players to choose from, and you can make a combination of any 3 out of the 5.
Yeah,
and it'd be a very good front line. Most defenders would be very scared against them.
Yeah, and 2 right because you saw the performance. Because I think they had even the parts of the game when they didn't have control of the game and it looked like Man City all over them. You could still see that spark where on the counter they still have it in them.
Electrifying.
That venom in them that they can hurt any side. Because that Jota goal really came from nothing. Like it was
so quick, wasn't it?
Yeah. That one ball from Thiago as well over the top. That one ball where he switched it at the start of that attack was Thiago.
He's improved this year. So because last year he's obviously good planning wrong, but he didn't do what I thought he'd do last year.
I was with you. I wasn't really impressed when he first came.
And this year he's been different gravy, isn't he?
Yeah, I was always obsessed with that. I have to admit, I was one of those people that he'd do a simple turn and I would be like completely, oh my word, he's the best midfielder on the planet. He'd drop the shoulder, I'd be like, it's brilliant. It's the Thiago spin.
A little Cruyff turn.
I was obsessed, but that was a great game. Absolutely class. And then we've also had the relegation stuff going on this weekend. Results, massive results. Everton beating United. Huge.
Quick lols at United.
Yeah, like...
I knew you were going to say something.
We were chatting about this off camera. The United fans love you, by the way.
Yeah, good old Ralph. Yeah. He's come good, hasn't he?
And I will say it again. Ollie, Ralph, who's doing the better job, guys? You all laughed at me. Well, who's laughing now? Because we put the clip out and we were... The amount of fan page that were getting at us saying, can you see the difference? Well, I don't remember, Ollie, like these results. The form, and the thing is, they're not even playing well.
There was the initial bounce when they weren't losing for a long time. They lost the Wolves, granted, but then after they still had a bit of a run, they lost like 1-15 or something like that. And that was a good run for them, don't get me wrong. But then recently, just like something's just gone wrong completely, hasn't it? They keep losing, dropping points, stupid points.
What I found with Rangnick is, although he was grinding out results and he made them a bit solid defensively, the performances have never been there.
Woeful.
Yeah. And they've just got worse and worse. David De Gea came out and said that was a disgrace. Like, your own a leader in that team's come out and publicly called the performance a disgrace.
Yeah.
Like,
that's not the first time he's done something like that either, is it? He's done that a few times over the years.
Yeah. He confuses me. But then I don't understand everything that's going on at the club, because supposedly I was reading in the news today, we weren't planning to talk about United, but Rangnick, supposedly the club might be looking at whether they actually want him to go upstairs because they aren't impressed with the job he's done so far.
Really?
I always thought something like this would happen, and I don't know why. I just had a sneaky feeling it was just odd to appoint someone to the end of the season and say with an opportunity to go into like the, but it just doesn't make sense.
I completely agree with United. If United backtracked now and didn't allow Rangnick to go upstairs, I completely agree with it, because probably the agreement was you come in, steady the ship, apply your philosophy, get the players sorted. Yeah, get top four. Next manager can come in and take it a step further. He has not delivered what he was supposedly supposed to do. They're falling out the top four. They might not even get Conference League football. Like, that could happen.
I genuinely think they're really concerned for finishing eighth.
Yeah, they are. And then I completely agree. If United were to say now, Rangnick, you can do one, I think that's a sensible decision.
No one's going to miss him.
No,
I don't think.
That's why I thought it was strange to offer it him in the first place. Like, he's not a United person. He hasn't been around the club. He doesn't know the club. He's come in with like his first job in England, full stop.
Yeah.
How is he going to understand like what's going on at the club, the history, all that sort of stuff, the philosophy?
Was it the United DNA? That's what everyone always says, the DNA.
I heard, I listened to that overlap thing, Gary Neville.
He was great, that was.
So he said they've now, I think, got the 6th oldest squad in the league, United. So like,
that's cool. You got to think the forward line being Ronaldo or Cavani as well. You're relying on 35, 34-year-olds.
There isn't really anyone that is young now apart from Ilanga.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain.
Yeah, same. There's not many at all.
Because I keep every time. I don't know why. I always think for a millisecond I think Lingard's still young. Every time in my mind, I still think. I don't know what it is about it. Every time. I was
about to the Souness pitch interview when Souness said, Pogba should be a leader for Lingard. It's like they're the same age. That was like 2 years ago. I think they're about 38, 39 now, both of them.
No, it's worrying times for United, but that wasn't even supposedly a topic. But
what a win for Everton.
That's what we're going to say. Yeah, Everton, what a result. And then Burnley, obviously, as well, losing. A shock result. So I was looking at, I've got the table here on my phone now. So Burnley are 18th now in the league, in the relegation spot, and they're 4 points behind Everton with joint. They've both got the same goal difference, but
Everton have a game in hand, is that right?
No, same games.
Oh, okay.
Same games now. 4 points difference. You can't write off Burnley still.
It's football, so you can't write off anything. But I think it looks a very hard task now.
That was huge though. Like that as a result, after Burnley beating Everton, the pressure was straight back on to Lampard, and the questions are asked. To be honest, I didn't see both of those results. I thought it was going to go complete opposite for both of them. I presumed Burnley would do a number on Norwich, and I presumed Man United would get a result because it's Everton. They haven't showed any willingness to win or anything.
I told Joe, good old Joey, on the pod. We were at our mate's house on Friday night, and he was like, "Everton are down. They're not going to get a win from somewhere." I just said they will pick up a win somewhere. I don't know why. I just had a feeling they'd get a win, and I think now it's that home form. But obviously, they've lost every game under Lampard away, I think.
Yeah, they've won 3 now under Lampard at home, haven't they?
Yeah. So like the home form is slightly there. So I think they will. And though they've got a tough run in, they'll pick up a few more points, whether it be another win.
But even then,
draw.
4 points now, because I find when it's 3 in your mindset, it's one game. You've just got to get one result. Whereas now Burnley have got to always be looking at the next game ahead. So they get the one result, and then it's the next result, and they've always got to think as well. We need Everton to slip up.
And I think the words of Dyche to Everton saying, "I don't think they're now to win," that's rung in Everton's ears, and I think they wanted to prove a point. And that's why I think they've really pulled one out against Man United as well. Because Frank said he's probably played that in the change room saying our rivals think this of us. go and show them. But, we can win a game. We want to win a game against one of the big boys as well.
Yeah, that was a huge result. What I just want to know now, this is not really that into football, but what do you thought of Richarlison doing the keep-uppies?
Oh, with his head?
Did you see that?
I've not seen this. No.
It wasn't even like late in the game. It was like around 60 minutes.
They were obviously they were winning, and he's dribbling down the ball, dribbling down the line with the ball, and he starts doing keep-uppies on his head, like nodding.
Oh, Brazilian flair, I'm all for it.
And the fact that not a single United player went straight through him
shows
the weak mentality of the squad.
If Neville was there, he's headbutting him, isn't he?
Well, they got. I didn't see Roy Keane get questioned on it. And I was really hoping he'd be asked. I just would have loved to have seen his opinion, because you can just imagine. But the fact that no one went through him, I thought that showed Everton's confidence to be able to, or even just Richarlison's confidence, because he's always got his ego's always been big. Let's be honest. You can do when you do stuff like that against United after you've beaten them. I'm all for it, to be honest.
Not in the 60th minute, maybe.
But they got the result, and he just looks. It looks class. But
do you think Richarlison would be better in a better team? Because
I do.
There's obviously a good player there.
I think so.
But he never gets more than like 12, 13, 14 goals a season in the Prem. For a player of his ability, maybe he should be pushing more than that.
He probably should. Everton's probably not a good environment to be in over his spell there, which is 4 seasons.
So
maybe.
Think
there's
about
a lot of managers,
amount of changes and players as well, signings constantly coming in and out.
I don't. Is he a proper goal scorer there, or is he someone like a workhorse and then put him alongside someone possibly? I don't know. I think he's a player.
I still can't decide his position as well. Is he better as like an inside forward, a winger, or as a number 9?
Left forward, I'd say. Left forward.
That's my problem. I can never exactly work out where he suits in a system. That's my only problem. But I think up top with a big bloke, like a Dominic Calvert-Lewin,
like a Rondon.
Well, yeah, when those two were fit, and was it under Ancelotti with James Rodriguez in behind, they looked really good as like a tandem duo.
I completely forgot he played. Sorry, James. I completely forgot James was at Everton.
Yeah. What a year!
He was great.
Well, for half a year, it was great.
I was going to say, yeah. Sorry, to carry on. Just the thought of that then, just there's nostalgia then. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Ancelotti, them two together, we've never seen Calvert-Lewin hit that level.
No.
Like that level.
He's not fit at the moment. You can tell. I watched the game, and you can just see he's not at it. He's not fit. He's not confident. He looks like he's been away for half the season, more than half the season, which he has done.
I mean, I mentioned Everton a few weeks ago, and I got slated for saying Calvert-Lewin has come back from injury, wasn't doing the business. And Everton fans were saying, "Oh, yeah, he's been injured. Okay," it's like he still hasn't improved since that moment, and it doesn't look like he is improving anytime quick either.
Yeah, the problem is, I think at the time now at Everton, they need results fast. They need output instantly, and it's hard to ask a player who's come back from an injury like he has to expect output straight away.
And the sub for him if he had to have a game off to rest and just recover a bit more, Rondon's not doing that.
Oh no!
To help them keep the sale.
They've got no one of those.
It's Richarlison up front, isn't it? And then you take him away from the wing, aren't you? So you sort of catch-22 situation, which frustrating for them, I guess.
Okay, then. So with all this discussion then with Everton, do you think now they're safe, or do you still think there is a slim chance? Like,
they're not safe.
Are you still not convinced?
It's not done and dusted.
No, they need to get some more results. Out of the bottom 4, 3 of them are going down. No one else is getting involved in that now, in my opinion.
So.
Well, yeah.
Cheers, Joe. Cheers, Joe.
Thank you. But between those 4, and the real main 2 is obviously Everton. But I'm just peeing ourselves on here.
No,
can we cut this?
He's definitely staying in. That has to stay in. That's brilliant. Oh. You got any more really in-depth analysis?
I've lost a point now. No, I'm not talking anymore.
But no, I think we can safely say Norwich and Watford are down. I think it's that 3rd spot really.
I'm just trying to think who. So above Everton, you've got Leeds. They've got a 5-point gap. So yeah,
but Leeds have played 2 more games.
But that's the problem. They've played 2 more games than Burnley. Burnley aren't getting 2 more wins, I don't think.
So they've drawn so many games this season, haven't they, Burnley?
I agree. I think it's between Burnley and Everton. And I was standing by Burnley for so long this season. For so long, I was waiting for it. And I think that result against Norwich personally, I think that's got them relegated, and I think that's it. I think it's over because
they looked deflated in that game. Yeah. They looked like they'd ran out of ideas. Norwich just like outrun them, outfought them,
outplayed
them. And played football. Burnley just couldn't get going.
I mean, they could go one or two ways now. They could either take this in a really bad way and go on and lose the remaining games the rest of the season. They go, boys, this is rock bottom. We need to bounce back, and they'll come with a new idea or whatever. And they might just start winning 2, 3, or it'd be 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, maybe. I just can't see it. I just don't see how they can come.
I can't see them getting 6 points, really.
No, I can't anymore. And I think that because in my mind that was 3 points, and I didn't even question it.
Yeah.
And fair play to Norwich. I don't think anyone expected Norwich to get anything out of that. Like, I think we can all safely say no football hipster realistically predicted anything for Norwich in that game. Because I thought,
no, because they're cack.
Norwich, they could come off the bottom spot. They're only a point off Watford now. Like,
yeah, bragging rights.
Yeah, does it really matter at the end of the day? With what?
That massive rivalry.
I bet it would for Norwich though, because they always go down bottom. Every single time they come up, they probably go down bottom.
I can relate to that. If West Brom got relegated at 19th, I'd feel a lot better than 20th.
Would you?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like I have kind of an alliance to Norwich because
they're a yo-yo team.
We were a yo-yo team. We did the same thing, but now we're gone. But it's not about West Brom. Definitely not about West Brom. Yeah, but then obviously we've got Mike on, and then he's not going to enjoy this chat. But we're going to get kind of a rational thought, and we're going to just pipe in when we need to. The top 4 race currently, obviously we all know Spurs are 3 points ahead of Arsenal in 4th spot. Arsenal in 5th, but obviously you can get the win. But Tottenham do have an unreal. I didn't realise how good their goal difference was, but I can't remember a time whenever goal difference has really affected positions like this. But what are your thoughts? What's going on? Like,
it's just a bit deflating. I think 3 games ago when we were in 4th and we had those 2 games in hand, I don't know why the media wanted to crown us as 4th place already. There was 10 games left. Like, no one's ever won anything with 10 games left. That's a big chunk of the season. Anything can happen. We were never going to win 10 games. So the media piled the pressure on Arsenal, but like, it's theirs to lose. Like, it's all in their hands. It'll be a disappointment. That's what I didn't like. It'll be a disappointment now if they don't get it when there's 10 games left of the season.
But do you not think it would? I still think at that stage, I think it is still a disappointment.
No, everything you just said is what I asked you about when we spoke about Arsenal before.
I know,
and I thought it was in your hands. It was in your hands. You were in the prime position for it.
It's in your hands, yes, but it doesn't mean that. Like,
no, I'm not saying it means it, but you should be able to go on with it.
But we were never going to win 10 games straight.
But no one in the top 4 race is going to win 10 games straight.
Exactly. Spurs aren't going to win their remaining 7 games. They're not going to go 100% until the end of the season. And we were never going to do that. So I didn't like the way the media put it, a lot of pressure. And obviously that's what happens when you get into that spot. You get pressure, but you've got to deal with it. And I don't think the pressure's what got to them. I think more than anything, it's the injuries. So Tierney and then Partey are huge misses, because that's 2 of your starting 11. That's 2 of your spine gone straight away.
Your biggest players. I think Tierney is huge.
Tierney's massive, yeah.
He was huge from a fancy team as well, which that was quite annoying.
One decision really I was surprised about was putting Xhaka left back. So yes, you've missed out on Partey at your spine, your centre of your spine. So his partner, you're also going to take out of the spine to put him left back.
I agree.
I didn't understand that decision.
I thought Nuno, although he was as bad as he was in the what was the game? It was Palace, wasn't it? As bad as he was in the Palace game, and he cost us. He was at fault for 2 goals. I think you've got to throw him straight back in, almost to try and build his confidence back up, and then you leave Xhaka in the midfield. So I didn't quite get that one, but who am I to question the Spanish prince?
Nuno as well. His confidence will go further down now. Xhaka's been put left back.
The performances have been really just disappointing. It's not even like we're going Palace did a job on us and completely out-battled us, out-fought us, and deserved to win.
What about the Brighton game?
I didn't watch the 90 minutes, but
watch the highlights. That was really
both games. The first half we were just so slow out, and I'd have thought in the Brighton game, after the way Arteta spoke, he was like, "We need a reaction. We need to get back on it. We need to And they just started exactly the same as the Palace game, like laboured, no energy, and Brighton were just quicker to it.
I think they look like a team. You know, it's almost a really easy thing to say, but a team who are inexperienced and not many leadership.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, it's an easy thing to say, but it just reeked of it. I thought
you're spot on, but I think now is the time where they can prove themselves. It's not over. I mean, if we win our game, and I know games in hand don't count for anything until you do win them, but we're then level on points with Spurs,
and then it goes towards that final game.
I think as long as we're in 3 points of Spurs when it goes to that game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, whatever it is, that's the third from last game of the season. If we're in 3 points of them, then it's all to play for.
Yeah, that game will be class. For a neutral, I cannot wait for that game.
It's going to be a fantastic game to watch.
That'll be squeaky bum time though for you lot, because that's going to be. I can imagine that would be horrible. Because the pressure on both sides, because the fourth spot, it's bragging rights, isn't it? It is huge.
And Conte as well is really making that Spurs team click now, is what I'd be scared for if I was an Arsenal fan.
But it's still quite a while away, so their form could drop.
Realistically, they should be getting fourth because they've got Kane and Son. They've got 2 world-class players.
No, I think your team's better than theirs, though.
They've got 2 world-class players. We haven't got one.
No, but the rest of their teams, I think, is not on the level.
But they've got probably
Ben Davies and players
combined. They've probably got.
I like Ben Davies.
I know you do.
They've probably got 50 goals from 2 players.
Oh no, I do. Think
we probably haven't got 50 goals between our squad.
And even Kulusevski is come on.
They've got 2 world.
You say that, yeah. When you put it like that, actually,
like, as good as our team is, like Saka's 20, Smith Rowe's 20. They've contributed this season, but it's the first season.
I still think you're missing that number 9, and that's
that's a big,
against Brighton.
Lacazette hasn't scored from open play since I think it's like the start of February.
Really?
So, yeah. So like that shows you what we're missing.
God.
Yeah.
50
It's
mil.
awful.
Yeah, you are crying out for that, but maybe that's the process, and we'll wait for the transfer window and see what you kind of do, because you are going to have to sign a striker.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone, when people were saying it'd be a disappointment if you didn't finish 4th, I don't think it would, because everyone can see the strides we've made as a team. Everyone can see how much Arteta's improved his methods as a coach, what he's doing to the players, improving players like Saka, Smith Rowe, even like Ben White, Thomas Partey's had a very good season. Like, everyone can see the strides we're making. So the goal was probably it was to get top 6 this season and then improve gradually.
Yeah,
we'd have been probably 1 or 2 years ahead of schedule if we get top 4 this year, which obviously would be a great thing for the club, but it's not a necessity right now.
Have you benefited then not being in Europe this season?
Definitely, yes.
Oh jeez, yeah, because the squad depth isn't there.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen it. Tini drops.
Yeah.
You've got Nuno Tavares, and
Yeah.
he doesn't trust your backup fullback.
So it would be,
like that.
if you get back in the Europa, yes, it would probably be harder to get into the top 4, but then you're more experienced, you've got more money to invest in the squad. I think other players will look at Arsenal now and see like an attraction. They'll be like, why wouldn't I want to go to Arsenal and improve under Arteta?
On the flip side though, to attract the top talent, you need to be in the top 4 for the main striker. If you got a team who was in Champions League and one team was in Europa, who are you more attracted to go to?
But I don't think even if they got top 4, this is no disrespect to Arsenal.
No, Arsenal have never signed.
I was going to say, I think they'd go
world-class players.
They'd go to the top.
Other than Ozil.
I'll say Ozil, yeah.
That's Ozil and arguably Aubameyang when we got him. But that was because we'd got all that Premier League money and towards the end of Wenger's reign. He wasn't.
Oh, he was.
He really wasn't.
He was old as my granddad by then.
He was very average for us.
Oh, I still really liked him.
But we've never signed top players.
Top.
top.
Is that having a top draw?
But I know we're not trying to wind you up here now. We're saying it's a disappointment, but I think the reason why, as a neutral, I'm disappointed in Arsenal is because I believed it. I think I was part of the, when the media were going, oh, it's happening. I think we all believed it was happening, and I think we all wrote off Tottenham as much as we all thought Arsenal, because at that point you were in the driving seat. Like, really,
well, you won like 9 out of 10.
Your
games
results were amazing. The form was amazing. The biggest thing I thought was not only were you getting the results, it was the way you were playing.
Playing really
You
well.
could see it, and it was all going so swimmingly. And I think that's the most deflating thing. Even as a neutral, looking at it from an outsider's point of view, I'd understand why everyone would be gutted as Arsenal fans, because you were this close, like to just walking away with it.
I think at the end of the season, if you don't finish top 4, you'll look back at it going,
it's a shame.
It could have been there. You know, you were in that position, and you could have held it. You know, and you've lost to teams that you shouldn't really have lost to. Maybe you could say,
possibly, yeah. But then, if you have the Tierney and Partey injuries, I don't think we could maintain that.
No, I get entirely what you're saying. I'm just saying, just from an outside point of view, it's just a slight. It's just a bit of a shame.
It's disappointing. It's not over yet, though.
No, I was going to say.
We're not rising them off.
That was going to be my next question.
It's not over at all.
Do you think now, if you were going to, I really want to get it out of you. Do you think, if you had to put your money on it now, if I was putting a gun to your head and said,
betting wise, no.
Okay,
so I'm backing us, obviously.
I know.
I'd back us to go to Spurs and beat them again, like we normally.
I was going to say that in recent years, you've got the. That's right, isn't it? I thought
it's been back and forth because Harry Kane loves scoring against us.
He loves it, doesn't it? And he's starting to look.
I'd back us any day of the week to go to Spurs and win. So as long as you're within 3 points of them, come then, that's fine. We'll take our chances.
Yeah, I do think it's made it a bit more interesting for the neutral, though. I have to admit, I can't think of a way where to win the titles being so close, like a two horse race, then 2 horse race for top 4. Yeah. Then a 2 horse race for relegation. Like it's so good as a neutral right now.
It's tight. There's a game to be played like there's always something competitive about it, which is really interesting. And even like, you know, mid-table, it's always someone's going to be affected somewhere about it, which is it's entertaining for everyone.
Well, even that Norwich-Burnley game, I don't think I've ever watched Norwich or Burnley with such like excitement to see what could happen. It was
actually quite a good game.
Yeah. I've never sat down and gone, I actually was excited and looking forward to watching Norwich versus Burnley. Usually you see that, you go, that absolutely reeks. No chance of watching that. Whereas I was like, do you know what? This is huge. And I don't think I just think this season's been amazing especially for the neutral. I would love to be a part of it though.
I've really enjoyed season 2, Sam.
I wasn't going to ask about the Wolves, to be honest.
How's 12th place treating you, or is it 13th?
With 12th, but there's no point talking about it. This is a Premier League episode, so.
Did you see last week when he nearly cried? Like he literally nearly cried.
I have to admit,
Coventry have gone back above them.
Anyway, on to the next topic. Oh, yeah, it was last week's episode. Honestly,
I Stoke above you as well.
Anyway, let's get on to our next topic. Have you said everything you want to say about the weekend's results? Is there any special mentions or anything you want to specifically talk about?
What else do we have?
I don't want Newcastle.
I just want to drop in for Joe. I told him this the other day, but I just want to make sure all of our listeners are aware. After, you know, what Stevie G's slippery villains or tricky villains, the big great start.
All the sticky villains were.
They are now level on points with Brentford.
I know, that's what I thought. I put that straight in the group chat, and I will not repeat what he said, but he told me 2 words, and I cannot say on this podcast. And he told me 2 words, but they're also 3 points off Leeds now. I'm pretty sure something ridiculous like that, or a few points off Leeds. Do you know what? I need to get it exactly up because
I think it's 3.
Imagine if I got sucked in.
Yeah.
Imagine if Burnley and Everton got a great run.
3 points off Leeds now.
Imagine if Burnley and Everton got a great run and sucked Villa in.
We're breaking the 4th wall now. We're talking directly to Joe. This is the Joe. But no, yeah. I swear as well, as soon as we did that episode about the Villa and about how the fact that they could push to be the best of the best,
just gone to pot.
And I'm all for it. We'll get Joe on every week if it means that it's going to happen to the Villa.
It's because I think they're better than there are. Honestly. They are so entitled when they Villa. They think they're so much better than they are. It's just, we got Coutinho.
I love this because we're just basically specifically talking to Joe. We're talking about a general fan, but we all know. And all the listeners know Joe now, so they can all join in as well. If you want to just comment about Joe, we're all for it.
Please do.
I'll leave his socials in the bio. But no, I just want to give one shout out as well to Dewsbury Hall, one player who last season I was watching him at Luton, and he was amazing at Luton last year on loan. And I thought he's a little bit older than you realise. I think he's like 23 now. He's
Leicester centre mid.
Yeah, Leicester centre mid. He's bagged 2 this week. I think he bagged 2, didn't he? Was it
goal and assist?
Was it goal and assist? Sorry, yeah. He was amazing. I think he's hitting the levels that I expected him. When I watched a lot of him last season, shout out to Ben, kept telling me to watch him. a Luton fan, and he said this guy will be amazing. I didn't believe him, to be honest. And he slowly is creeping into the side, and he looks class. But yeah,
he started a lot of games this year for them. A lot of games.
And when he first started, I thought I didn't really rate him. I think it was against Liverpool. That one when Leicester got a result against Liverpool. I think it might have been a draw earlier on in the season. That was the first game. I thought, wow, yeah, great performance from him. That was my little shout out, honourable mention. But
lovely shout out.
Yeah, a little shout out. It's quite a shame you haven't been able to give a shout out to Tommy Asu, you know.
No, hopefully he'll be back soon. He's nearing a return. And obviously with Tierney coming back, I think that'll mean Tommy and Cedric both playing fullback. Cedric will probably get left back, and it means we get to see Tommy's cute little face romping down the wing again.
Honestly, this man loves Tommy Asu more than anyone.
Is it a top 4 face?
A top 4 face? What kind of question is that?
Is he a sort of face to get you into a top 4? Bringing him back in?
Yeah. Do you know what? Why not?
You should take over
the Tommy.
You should take over the host. And these questions, your analysis this week has just been on
spot on, hasn't it? Another level downgraded.
But I just want to give a shout out. As I say, every single week we obviously always do a debate as the last part of the podcast. And I want to give a shout out to Jake, who gave us the idea for this week. It's an absolutely unreal idea. We're going to be going through our teams. We're doing our underrated 11 of the Premier League. We've done 4-3-3. We've all gone. We've actually not looked at each other's teams.
No, we have no
So you are
idea.
going to see the live reactions, and I don't know how similar we're all going to be. Obviously, we all look at football different ways.
I bet that it's not similar at all.
I don't think we'll have many players who are the same, but it's going to be fun. But shout out to you, Jake. And if anyone else wants us to do any other topics, any other debates, leave them in the comment section below. This is just proof that I do actually read them. I always say I do, but yeah. Shout out to Jake. Who wants to go first with their goalkeeper?
I think you can go first because you are a goalie.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? Every week we forget to mention that when we did a goalkeeper debate episode, and I never mentioned that you were a goalkeeper
until the very end. I think.
They'd all have switched off by then. They'd have heard my top 5 and switched off instantly.
Not surprised. Sanchez 5. Anyway, my underrated.
Sanchez.
No, absolutely not. I've got Fabianski.
I'll join him straight away.
Fabianski.
Yeah, mate, he's improved. Since his Arsenal days, he's improved.
He was Fabianski at Arsenal.
He's
when he
so
was
consistent
Chesney's
now.
backup.
Yeah,
but he's just been
so
very,
consistent.
very good for West Ham.
I think he's a bit of a leader there.
What are you pulling faces at?
You know where you're going from, but he's a good mate. Some good shot stopper. He's number 1.
Fabianski.
But I think this is it comes back to my ideology now of the new goalkeeper. I want a keeper to do everything.
He doesn't have to in a moist
team. I get that, but
he suits the team he plays in as well.
He does,
and he'll suit the team for me as well. He'll suit my team.
He'll suit your team. You've gone really tactical.
I always do. I always make a team.
My team will not work at all together.
See, I think you always miss a trick there. You have to make a team that works.
Okay, I was hoping you two wouldn't. No, you two are going to be ganging up. I can feel the pressure on this one.
Well done, Mike. Good choice, mate.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so my goalkeeper.
Clearly, I know keepers like you.
You know Glove.
You glove.
I know Glove.
You know Glove. I like that. So my most underrated goalkeeper in the Premier League is Meslier, and I think Meslier is so good. What he's doing, he's so young as well. He's so good with the ball. The amount of saves he's made, he's kept leading so many games. And I genuinely think he's been a huge part in the reason why Leeds have stayed up this season, because the amount of his goal is constantly peppered with that Leeds defence, and he's so confident. And
they concede about 3 a game.
Yeah, but the amount of saves he's making.
Yeah, because he is faced so many shots.
No, I get that, but then
and even his shots to save percentage isn't very high either. How many shots he faced?
Even his distribution. I'm all about his distribution. That's why I like him. He's definitely a modern day keeper, and he's made mistakes where he's tried to, for example, like Cruyff turn a striker and things like that, and he carries on. He's got the confidence to keep going, and at the age he is, he's so
21.
Young. Yeah, he's 21, and to be at that level already, I think he's clinically, criminally underrated.
I read a stat that I think he is the youngest keeper to have 50 Premier League starts.
Yeah. And he isn't discussed enough. And honestly, I'm annoyed at myself that I didn't make him in my top 5. I don't think there's a lot to discuss,
personally.
I personally think
average.
I think he's okay.
If I did my top 5
the problem is when you're
again,
21 and you're a goalie, you've got so much left to learn, like so much ahead of you.
But the fact he's starting every week already,
yeah, it'll be benefiting him.
And he looks good.
I think he's all right.
But he probably concedes. Is how many goals Leeds conceded? Second or third most in the Premier. It's hard to include a keeper who's conceded that many goals.
Yeah, but whatever keeper plays in that Leeds side, I think you could put anyone there. You could put Alisson in there, and he'd still concede. he probably concede less, obviously. But
I was going to say, where are you going to go? That's the point.
They'll still concede a lot because it's the way they play. They leave them so vulnerable. And I think he has kept them in so many games throughout this season where I've watched them and gone, do you know what? They've got a result because of him.
I've just thought of the question going back to our keeper. Obviously, you don't rate Fabianski.
No,
but as West Ham have been linked with him, would you rather Fabianski or Sam Johnston?
I'd take anyone over Sam Johnston. I'd take Sai over Sam Johnston. So yes,
I don't know. Receive a job on Sunday.
I'd take Fabianski. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
But the thing, my point is with Fabianski, I get he's a great goalkeeper, but my ideology now as a goalkeeper, I want a goalkeeper to do everything. I like the modern day keeper, and I can see where it's going. But I completely agree with you. He's a great goalkeeper, but with a keeper now, I want them to do everything.
I think Fabianski's been doing what he's been doing for years and years now, and that's why he's underrated, because he's just so consistent.
Yeah. He is consistent,
yeah. Consistently average. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I think we can.
We can't be
consistently below average.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Above average in goals conceded.
Oh, here we go. I knew this is
next position.
Okay. Let's move on to our right backs. Okay, then, Mike, do you want to go first this time?
See, I've struggled with the defence a bit, so my defence is a bit out there.
Just say it with chest. Who is your most underrated right back in the Premier League?
So he's kind of a right back and kind of.
Sorry, where are we going now?
He's played right back.
Just say it.
John Stones.
Okay.
He's played right back.
That's not where I thought
played right back, I guess. Yeah.
And I think he's underrated. There we go.
I really want to know your centre backs. I really want to know your centre backs are now that you couldn't put them at centre backs, but.
Do you just want to do say back fours?
No, I couldn't think of any other right back.
Do you want to do your entire back four?
Just do back fours, yeah.
No, I think we go one by one.
Oh, okay. Fine. Setting the rules. So okay.
I just think Stones he's got a lot of stick, and I don't really know why. He's slotted into a City team, won everything he can win. He plays out better than any defender I can remember, really.
Any defender.
Any defender.
Ever.
Who passes the ball as good as John Stones?
Van Dijk.
Cody.
Laporte. Cody? For a second, I actually thought you meant that. Please don't say you believe that. Surely not.
Nah, probably not.
No, Van Dijk's long passing, yeah, but the way Stones keeps the ball and moves it and keeps things ticking.
That's a bold shout. I'd personally say I'd say Laporte's a better passer than him as well.
No.
I don't think you could call someone who costs 50 mil underrated.
It's not about price tag, it's about.
But he's obviously rated fairly highly if he's costing that sort of money.
I just couldn't think for right.
You're gonna hate some of my players, and if we're talking about price tags,
there we go. I've struggled with defence. The rest of them, I think, I've done quite well. The defence was a bit difficult.
Okay, we'll let you have John Stones. Questionable. We'll let the listeners decide whether they. I think it's an odd one. I wasn't expecting it.
Why do you think it's odd?
Just because he's not a right back. That's the only reason why.
Has he played right back for Man City?
He has played right back, but that's just surprised me. I just didn't expect to be John Stones.
I mean, I thought a few years ago John Stones was one of the most overrated centre halves in the Prem. A few years ago, because he was mistake prone, left, right, and centre. He's improved the last 2 years. Don't get me wrong.
But I think it helps now. He's not playing with. I don't think these two play together, but was it Otamendi?
It was Otamendi, yeah.
I think it helps so much. He's not playing next to Otamendi.
Demichelis as well.
That was the one I was about to say, and I couldn't remember if he definitely played with him or not.
Yeah, I think he did. They did another mad one, didn't they?
I'm trying
Mangala.
He was about 50, around 50 million mark.
He was 32 mil.
Was it 32 million for Porto? Sai, who is your most underrated right back in the Premier League?
So I think people rate him, but not as much as they should do.
Don't say Nelson Semedo.
No, I'm not going to say Nelson Semedo or Matty Rash. It is Chelsea fans call him Dave. Azpilicueta, absolutely. Azpilicueta, for me, he should have legendary status at Chelsea. He cost them 7 mil. Been there for years and years. Leader. He's changed positions for them from right back, right centre half. I just think he's so again really consistent. He's never one of the players you talk about very often at Chelsea.
It's because he's hard to get excited about him.
But that's the thing.
Isn't it mental?
But you know what he gets.
He's over 30 years old, and we're saying he's underrated. Oh, no, that's not a point. Actually,
I don't think he's underrated. I think he's rated. He's not flashy, so he doesn't get headlines. I think everyone knows how good he is.
But I don't think he's appreciated enough. I just think he's absolutely fantastic for them. I think he's done so many great things for Chelsea. He makes that defence. The defence is different without him. Absolutely.
I think it just doesn't help now. We're seeing his legs go. And we're starting to see like the slow demise of him now. And recently, a few weeks I've watched him recently where you can see him, wingers taking him on. I just think you just feel sad for him. I don't know if it just might be me. I just feel bad. I just don't think. I sort of get what you're saying.
But he also reads the game really well. But he also knows he's got that cover behind him in the back three, which obviously helps. But I think it's a great pass. It links up really well between the defence and the midfield. I say leadership. We should have. Everyone knows that's a skill I really rate.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay. Do you know what? I can see your points you're making. I just think
I thought about him. I think
he's
rated
because he's an international.
He's rated, but I think he's not rated as high as he should be, in my opinion.
Well, there we go.
I want to disregard my point I tried to make, and I backtracked straight away. Over 30, I don't know why that was a point in my head then. As I said it, I realised that was just ridiculous. So I'm just cancelling my little statement there. Sorry, right back, I can tell now I was already going down like a sack of potatoes or whatever the phrase is, because I've already seen Mike's face. Mine is Nelson Semedo.
Oh.
So I didn't want to put Wolves players in, but I think a lot of it was down.
Sick of the Nelson Semedo phrase on this podcast. He's all right.
No, I think
he's better than all right.
I think he's been very good this season. I think he's improved. I think this under Lager, I think you can see he's improved offensively and defensively. I think defensively was the question marks. I think this season he's been huge for the Wolves, and he's been part of that defence that has been so good, and it's why they've got one of the best defences in the league. And there was question marks in him last season, and we're seeing the player that they spent the amount of money they did on him, because that's the thing. I think it's just, as well as last week when we spoke about it, the backlash we got for saying Semedo, and I honestly think he's underrated. But everyone's opinion saying, Matty Cash is twice the player I'll ever be. I think he's criminally underrated, because, as well as the reaction.
I think people still think about Semedo, about last year's Semedo. I'm going to not watch this year's Semedo. It's a completely different player.
Yeah,
and he's so much improved this year. So, I've sung his praises several times now. So I won't repeat myself too much, but I just think he's a brilliant player, and he's a vital cog to Wolves.
Yeah, I know, I can see your reaction. You just sat here, just all sad in the middle. But no, I just personally think he's underrated. I think the levels he's gone to this season, he could be in that discussion. He's on the brink of getting towards those top right backs. He's not on that level, but he's just below it at the moment. But yeah, we'll swiftly move on then. Our centre backs, do you want to do both of them straight away? You double,
fine.
Or do you want, actually, I'll go first this time, because you guys have done. So my two are Ethan Pinnock at Brentford. I think has been absolutely class.
Didn't expect that.
I really liked him in the Championship. I watched a lot of him. Why you guys are so funny? This is exactly
the other one, Pontus Jansson.
No.
A Leeds legend.
I think Pinnock is exactly, that's my point proven. I think he's really underrated. I think he's a very, very good defender. I think he's been part of a Brentford side which I think has overachieved this season. What they've done has been class. I think he's been huge for them. He's got pace. He's big. He wins a lot in the air. He's got a few goals. I think he's had a very, very solid season for his first season of the Premier League. And I think he's been very good, very solid defender. And then the other one is Johnny Evans as my other most underrated centre back. I think he's one of the best centre backs in the league, and I always think he is. I think he's like fine wine. He's just got so much better with age.
I think he's another one who everyone rates him, and that's about it.
But I think he's one of the best centre backs in the league. I honestly do. I think he's so.
I don't
good.
think he is now.
No, I think.
Probably, but I still think
18 months ago.
But I still think he.
I think since his return from injury, he's not looked as good as he was before.
He's not looked as good, but you can still see. He can read the game. It's like your Aspilicueta.
Yeah, he can read the game.
He's so good.
Of course.
I did that. You probably did that then. But yeah, so those are my two most underrated centre backs. Got to be Ethan Pinnock and Johnny Evans. The two of them, I think,
it's got to be.
It's got to be for me. So okay. You guys go straight in then.
I've gone for Adam Webster and Romain Saiss. Adam Webster.
You dropped Saiss in there as if it was nothing. They went straight back to Webster.
Yeah. So Webster, I think, came in with not much fanfare. No one really knew about him. It cost a lot of money to Brighton from Bristol City, and I think he's consistently been, very dominant in that defence for Brighton. The start of the season, their defence was very good. Didn't concede many goals because him and Dunk were there, and they were doing the business. Since he's got injured, they've been on a terrible run of form, Brighton, and I think that proves how much of a vital player he is and how good he is for Brighton.
I can get behind Webster. I think it's the Saiss thing we're really trying to question.
Not about that.
Saiss, I was always undecided about for years. This year, he's been so aggressive in winning all the aerial duels, been great covering the left wing back. He can come out with the ball very well, can pick a pass. I just really like him this year. I never thought I would say it because I was one of the fans who wasn't sure about him. But I think this year he's really improved.
I think that's your bias shining through personally. Like, I still don't think he's a Premier League centre back.
He's okay in that back three. Like, if you put him in the back four, it would be like destruction. Like, it just would never.
Yeah,
work.
Imagine him and Cody in the back four. Jeez,
what's happened last year?
No, he's a squad player at the end of the day. I think
he's okay. This year proved to be more than a squad player.
Just reeks of back three tax to me.
There you go.
Maybe, yeah, but
no, but I get where I do get where you come from.
I couldn't think of a centre half who was.
No, to be
fair, I
fair,
struggle with the defenders.
Well, in like a back three, I do get what you're saying. Like, he has been very good. To be fair,
he's no one who's really improved this year for me.
Yeah. He's been very good, but I still don't think he's underrated, personally. But
that's because you're not watching him as much as I have, so
obviously not. And I'm not a Wolves fan, so that.
Move on to Mike.
So initially, I had.
Where are you going already?
I had Matip in there, but I think he is underrated. But I can't justify him in this team. So I think he's underrated just
for the Premier League player.
But I don't think anymore now because everyone has been discussing for the last 6 months
so then,
that he's the most.
I'm going to go straight in with one that you'll like, Sam. Craig Dawson.
Ooh, yes.
I thought about Craig Dawson.
I think he's been very, very good for West Ham.
I was going to have Craig Dawson, Johnny Evans.
He's been like the rock of that West Ham defence almost. Like Zuma and Diop have been in and out. The right backs have changed. Cresswell's had injuries, and he's just like ever present, always consistent. Ogbonna, yeah. He just like you know what you're getting from him, and it's like rock solid, great performance, 7 out of 10 every week.
He's old-fashioned centre half.
He's a great foundation to build from.
But you say that he's an old-fashioned. Some of his passings got a lot better. I saw. I know you can take Twitter little highlights as like with a pinch of salt, but against Lyon, some of the passes he was finding in that game, he was huge for them. Quite a few balls over the top with 4 nails running in behind. I love Dawson. I will stand by him.
I'm going to go straight with you. This is just I ran out of ideas.
Can I say this?
Okay. I'm going to throw Rob Holding in there.
That reeks. Absolutely reeks.
I just want you to say it with chest. Just look right down to the camera lens.
Rob Holding. He's had a great season.
I just want you to say it just so I can clip you and just so you can say you genuinely believe.
I couldn't think of any defenders.
Your underrated centre-back in the Premier League is Rob Holding.
One of them, yeah. I think he's as the great man Arsene Wenger once said, I'm sorry Rob Holding didn't cost 55 million.
So he was wrong.
He would be sad if he did. Jeez, could you imagine?
I think he's a very solid
like a good
Premier. I think he's a very solid Premier League centre half. And when he's had to accept a new role with Ben White coming in, and Arteta brings him in for like the death close-out lineup when we're 1 goal ahead, and he goes to a 5-4-1, and the record as soon as he does that is amazing. He get blocks, body on the line, clearances, wins headers. I've been very impressed with him.
Yeah, he's underrated in the sense of probably one of the best underrated bench warming centre backs for definite.
I can't think of many Premier League sides who have a centre half starting.
I don't think he'd make it into West Brom's starting 11.
Behave.
I'm just trying to wind you.
League One.
I think. Well,
you might get into.
Would you have him ahead of Mings?
Yes.
There you go.
Rob Holding or
There's
Mings.
Another one for Joe.
Definitely Rob Holding.
I don't know about
He would walk into Villa's defence.
I think so.
That's a Villa's defence is cack.
There we go. You love that word. I love it. How many times you can get it into an episode? It's brilliant. Okay, then
4.
We'll move over to our left backs.
Cucurella.
I've got Cucurella as well.
I went Trippier.
Whoa. He's a right back.
But
you can't talk. You had Stones at right back.
Who plays right back?
Trippier plays left back.
He has played left back.
I didn't know that.
He has played.
Play for England as well.
Are we doing in England?
Well, no, I'm just putting that in there for you.
No, I don't have
he
to
only played about 5 games, didn't he?
Trippier.
Yeah.
I just think he's brilliant.
Yeah,
for 5 games.
No, but it's not just that. Not to bring him back to England, but I think he's dismissed so quickly. Like, we talk about our best right backs, and everyone's trying to it's either Walker, Trent, or James.
Because he's not on their level. Though Trippier is nowhere near them.
But Trippier, I think he's brilliant.
I think he's brilliant.
Defensively, fantastic. Balls into the box, fantastic.
I think he's in that. I think Trippier is in that next category of right backs with the likes of
Semedo level.
That next bring. I don't think he's anywhere near Reece James.
So you can also see what he's done.
You can Tommy Asu in that.
But you can see what he's done to Newcastle. How much he improved them when he was playing.
Yeah. Also, when he went, they carried on winning. Their form didn't drop off as soon as he was injured. They carried on that winning run.
No, they lost a few ones initially when he.
But then they carried on their run. Like it didn't hinder them.
It's not just him.
It wasn't just yeah.
Kukurea has been top draw all season.
And great hair.
Lovely hair.
Great hair. Yeah, we all knew he was going to be a player. Like when you've again Twitter highlights and things like that, and what you've read about him, we all knew what he was doing in the Spanish league. Very good on the ball. He's perfect for what Brighton is. Like he's so good going forward. And my questions was defensively, but I thought especially against you, there was a couple of times where back post he was winning headers and things, and that side of him I didn't know whether he would be there or not. Would he be like a Lamptey in the sense of it's more of an attacking fullback, whereas I think Kukurea's slotted in so well. Yeah. You wouldn't think he was signed at the point he was. You'd think he's been there for years because he's just slotted into Premier League football so well. I love him. He's a very good footballer. So composed for a defender. He's got way too much confidence on the ball. Like, he should not.
It's very Spanish, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he's just so casual.
Yeah,
it's very good. I think. Is there any other points you want to add to it?
No, great hair.
Yeah, great hair. What he does with that headband, I don't know how it stays in. Like it's it's amazing. Okay, then so we went for a 4-3-3 formation. Do you want to just like smash out all three midfielders in one go?
Yeah, I'll go if you want. I went Højbjerg.
Oh
no!
That absolutely stinks.
I'll let you take this one because you.
Do you want him over two first or not?
Oh, is it Harry Winks and Lo Celso?
Lo Celso's not in the Premier League anyway.
I was going to say. Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse and Kouyaté.
I can't believe you said...
Sorry, Kouyaté?
I've got
Kouyaté.
I've got
so Sam's in the wrong.
What?
I've got Kouyaté.
Yeah. Kouyaté.
Absolute beast of a bloke.
I think he's class.
Yeah.
He's played centre back like loads as well.
Yeah, he played two positions in the spine.
Could drop in alongside Rob Holt.
Fair enough. If that's what
dominant figure. He bosses that midfield for Palace. Can drive forwards with it as well. Like
my three are Kouyaté, Klitsch, and the person Spurs should have signed instead of Højbjerg, Romeo. Because he's twice the player that Højbjerg is.
No, I thought of him and I chose Højbjerg.
I think Romeo is one of the best holding midfielders in the league. He's so good. Honestly, when you watch him play, I think it was. I've watched it so many games now at Southampton, just specifically to watch him. What he does with the ball is so good.
See, I think he's a crab. He either goes backwards or sidewards. He doesn't ever go forwards.
What do you think Højbjerg does?
He breaks up playing, plays it forwards to Harry Kane or
Son. Play. I've never seen Højbjerg play the ball forwards.
He does.
He can't. He actually physically can't.
And I think Spurs midfield without Højbjerg is
passer.
Awful.
He's a better defender. He's stronger.
And Romeo's got. Well, he scored that goal against Norwich. Like he popped up with the goal.
He hardly ever scores.
Romeo.
He hardly ever scores.
I mean,
probably doesn't score much either, to be fair.
It was a great volley against Norwich. I can't believe Kouyaté is alongside Romeo. So mine is...
Imagine a 50-50 between Kouyaté and Romeo. That's a big 50-50, that is.
That's vile, though. Can you imagine that?
The noise.
So my midfield three is Shelvey.
Oh, that stinks.
I think Shelvey under Eddie Howe has been amazing.
It's not the worst.
He absolutely dominated that Wolves game. He controlled that game.
We let him do that.
But I'm saying he dominated you. Like
he outpassed Moutinho.
We don't want to talk about Friday's game.
That's why Moutinho hasn't made this team, because Shelvey's clear.
Ruben Neves just wants to be Shelvey.
Yeah.
No, he does.
He wants Shelvey's passing.
That's why he's growing his head and not look like Shelvey.
But you have to admit though, like Shelvey, his vision and passing is on the top level of players in the Premier League. It's just his attitude, and he hasn't been consistent. And we're starting to see a consistent John Shelvey. That's why he's getting a new contract supposedly.
I just don't
he's
like
so
him.
good. We're seeing the John Shelvey that we all thought could happen.
The one that should have happened for England and Liverpool.
But we're seeing it now. Honestly, I think he's amazing.
Do you think you could go higher than Newcastle right now?
No.
Not now.
That's what
but
I mean.
in time,
But he's a good player.
He's getting older now.
No, but if he carries on his consistency, then he could easily step up. Definitely. But for me personally,
I don't know about that.
So I've gone Shelvey, Souček, and Romeo. And I think the problem is with Souček is I don't feel like he's getting discussed at all this season because it's all about Declan Rice.
Because he hasn't got the goals that he did last season.
Yeah, I thought about Souček as well, and I chose against because people rate him. People already rate him. I think they rate him sensibly.
But no one's chatting about him anymore because I think it's all Declan Rice gets all of the plaudits because what he's doing. But Declan Rice won't be able to do half things he could do now because Declan Rice is going forward. Souček is doing so much alongside him. He doesn't get mentioned anymore personally, but you can't really get that excited about Souček. But yeah,
I think he's a great player. Souček. I think he's a brilliant player. He does a lot for West Ham, but I just think everyone rates him as, sensibly in terms of how good he is.
Well, fair enough. Okay, there's our midfielders then. Front three then, guys.
Ooh.
Have you got all? This is now where
I'm just going to reel them off.
I was going to say.
It's not great. This.
See, now this is where I think
Mbeumo. I think he's been very good for Brentford this year. He works hard. He's not a goal scorer, but he gives a lot to the team. So yeah, chuck him in. Iheanacho.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Thought about it. Thought he doesn't do enough for me.
Does he get the opportunities? I don't think he does.
When Vardy was injured, he had a lot of starts.
He never gets an extended run in the team, and I think his finishing ability is unbelievable.
You saw against United, he played really well against United.
Yeah, and I just think there's a player in there somewhere. I don't know if Rodgers he's like had him in and out and in. You just need someone to.
Well, with Vardy coming
put
to
like
the end,
a big show of confidence.
Because he's a clear goal scorer, but if he doesn't score goals, I think he's a waste of space.
I think he's shown. I agree previously, but he has shown a little bit more recently. Little flashes of running with the ball, creating for
holding
others.
up as well. He can hold up the ball quite well.
So I've never seen him hold up the ball before.
He backs into players because he's beefed up a bit now at Leicester.
And then my final one, which was the first name on the underrated team sheet, is Timo Pukki.
Oh, that's a good shout. Do you know what?
He's stung this year.
He scores about 10 goals every season in the Premier League
I've not
for
rated
the worst Premier League team that Norwich are awful, and he always scores goals.
He does. I just don't.
Look at the teams around Pukki.
No,
I don't
know
even
what you're saying.
I don't even know half a Norwich team is. Who's that? Lees Malou. I've never heard. They come up every year, and I have no idea. But Timo Pukki still scores goals.
Yeah.
Okay. He does score goals.
I get that. Okay, that's fair enough. And your front three then. So.
I found this really difficult because I think forwards.
Jimenez.
Nah, I think for forwards,
Dens.
If you're a good forward, you're spoken about and you're not underrated.
Trincao. Carry on.
Trincao, nah. Come on,
I know you hate. Go on.
Jeez.
Give us your front three.
I've gone for Gordon from Everton. It's been the only bright spot for Everton this year. He's ray of sunshine, drives forward, dribbles, attacks, defences.
Okay, yeah.
Up and coming. Good player. I've gone for Origi from Liverpool.
Origi?
Scores massive goals for Liverpool's. Doesn't Liverpool's? I just think he scores huge goals for them. Doesn't get enough game time.
I think Origi's finished now at Liverpool. I can't see him getting a sniff anywhere near that squad anymore.
But I think if he goes to another team in the Prem, say between the 7th and 14th position, he'd score a lot of goals.
But I'm not sure he would.
I think he's
the
quality
player.
of the Liverpool squad has made him better, and I think he's reached his
because
peak.
if he went to a side, say for example, like the Wolves. Now this is not me
and he was linked with Wolves a few years ago.
He's not going to get the quality of supply that he is at Liverpool. You think the kind of players that got whipping balls into him, like he's not going to have a player like Trent constantly whipping the ball in, or Andy Robertson down the other side. Exactly, that's my point. Size
from deep.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the Origi show. I think he's a luxury player, and I don't think we'll see him again.
He's a luxury player. I think he works hard when he plays for them.
But I'd take Firmino now, Jota over him.
Well, no, obviously, yeah.
But that's the point. He's slowly falling down the pecking order in that attack now. Now they're getting more depth.
Oh yeah, I'm not denying that. But I think this year he'll have to move on if he wants to progress his career. I think he scores big goals for them. I think he works hard. He's very quick. He can hold a ball up. I think he's a good striker. But he's not really spoke about that much.
Okay, now mine. I think this is.
Was that 3?
No, I've got one more.
Oh, have you? Sorry.
Yeah, awful. Presented.
That is bad hosting.
That was bad maths. I thought you did the team.
I mean, you probably think it's a stinks in a way, but I've gone Daniel Podence.
We were already taking the mick as well.
No, Daniel Podence has I said before,
I like Podence.
Causes defences issues. I said before, doesn't get the goals assists that he should do, but I think that will come as well. I think he's 25, and I think bit of time. Well, another year he'll start scoring more goals, more assists.
He's a player that I'd never thought he'd suit to the Premier League with his height and build and stuff.
Oh,
but he has
5'5". But some players can't touch him.
Yeah, that Cruyff turn he does, he sends players absolutely flying.
Oh, the best one we get with Havertz last year, I think. He's still waiting for his taxi now, Havertz. It's great to see.
Okay, it's actually full 11.
Yeah, it's my 11, yeah.
Okay, now I've taken what I believe is underrated, and I've given a little.
This means it's going to stink.
No.
Stinky.
So my first one, I'm going to go on the right, is Saka. And I think Saka is criminally underrated because how he's even in a discussion.
No,
you can't have Saka.
No, let me fit. So Bukayo Saka, just to start off with, he's got more goal contributions than Sancho and Rashford combined, and he's even discussed on the level of Sancho.
United fans.
So United fans, when they discuss these players, I think Saka is clear. What he's doing at his age now, I think he's not discussed about enough. He's the leader in that Arsenal side, the guy they go to.
He's the one.
The reliant, and at the age that he is.
That's a weakness of Arsenal, by the way.
I know it's a weakness for Arsenal, but I think we forget how old he is. When you literally, he's the man that everyone relies on. You think Saka's going to provide a spark at that age. I think he's underrated for what he's doing now. 9 goals. I think I've got it here because I thought I'd do a little bit of prep because I knew you guys would not like this. 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 goal contributions from the wing. I think it's amazing. I think he should be discussed as one of the players of the season for any club. I think what he's done this season has been integral to Arsenal. And I know even with your faces now, you're not convinced still. But
he's not underrated.
He's rated accordingly as he should be.
But when you think about his age,
he's
and
one of the
everything
top
he's doing,
talents in Europe.
Yeah,
Arsenal about to quadruple his wage for a reason.
But he's one of the most highly rated under 21 players in all of Europe.
If you ask me to give me my top 5 under 21 players right now in the world, he's there.
Yeah, but people still put him in the bracket and discuss Saka and Sancho as a debate. I don't think it's a debate.
That's not people. That's the little United millions that want to.
But I think he's closer to the likes of Foden and those. But
there's a reason why Saka started the final in the Euros for England.
Yeah, I just
he's rated highly.
I think he's on that top level now, and I didn't. Might be me personally underrated him. I didn't think he was as good as he was, and the level he stepped up, and he can still keep going. I just think he's huge for Arsenal. Then Ivan Toney up top, 12 goals, 4 assists in his first season, 16 goal contributions. He's amazing. I think he's really surprised, and I think he can make the step up to a side like Arsenal. I think he would flourish in a side like that.
Yeah, I'd quite like Toney, not as the go-to striker, but as an option.
As a backup, I think he'd be amazing.
Again, he's like an old school sort of English forward, isn't he? And I thought about Toney as well, but I thought people rated him accordingly as well.
But I didn't realise he got as many goal contributions as he did.
There's a lot of penalties, though, isn't it?
Pens,
but
you've got to put the ball in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my final one.
First of all, before with dreads or without dreads?
I don't think I've seen the dreads.
What, the start of the season?
Yeah.
Have you not seen the dreads at the start of the season? Just cut them off recently.
We'll show you off camera after.
Thank you.
You can give your opinion.
What do you think, Sam?
I'm going to go straight in for dreads, even though I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's got to be dreads.
It's got to be dreads, isn't it?
Yeah, he did look cool. Okay, then my final one, and now this one is I think Mahrez is criminally
You're not
underrated.
having Riyad Mahrez.
Because I think,
pick another one.
No, because I think he's arguably one of the, if not the greatest winger of all time in the Premier League.
Of all time?
Get out.
We can't swear on this pod, Sam, but I want to right now.
What he's achieved now at Manchester City and at Leicester, I think...
No.
I think he's on that next... I think he's on that level.
He's a top goal scorer at Man City.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think he's
unbelievable for me. Everyone knows he's unbelievable for me.
But I think he's in that bracket now as one of the greats in the Premier League. I think when you look at what he's achieved, he's won everything bar the Champions League now.
He's not underrated.
No, but I think he's
not underrated.
No, because I think he's... If you gave me the choice...
Do you think Pep underrates him?
Yes. And I personally, he would be my first player on the team sheet every week.
He plays every Champions League game.
No, but if I was building a Prem all-time 11, I would have him in my team.
No, you wouldn't.
You'd have him ahead of Salah?
Yes.
Oh. Ronaldo in his pomp.
I'd put Ronaldo on the other side. I would have...
Hazard?
I'd have Mahrez. Mahrez ever...
No.
I would. It's just me personally.
You're wrong.
That's why I'm saying.
Me and Si are in agreement. You're not having it because he's not underrated.
We know glove, we know ball.
Okay, I'll let you have that. Okay, then, so I thought now we'll quickly run through our 11 just so we can clip these up and then we can see the reactions. And then people let us know, vote in the comments.
You've got to change yours though because you're not having Mahrez.
No, I'm sticking with Mahrez.
We'll see not underrated.
Yeah, but I think he is personally.
Okay, then. Let's just get silly. I'm having Alisson in goal.
Okay.
I want De Bruyne in.
Okay. Do you know what?
I think Foden's underrated as well.
Okay. We'll come back to mine and I'll think of another.
And I want Semedo and Johnny.
You guys just really like to just say, okay, then I'll ask
Son. I'm having Son as well.
I will change. I will say a new winger. If that makes you guys happy, I will say a new winger and I will say it
yes, please.
on the spot when I reel out my 11.
Is he allowed Saka, do you reckon?
I think Saka I think my argument did make sense.
I'll accept Saka if he drops Mahrez.
Okay, yeah. I'll drop Mahrez. Okay, then shall I reel through my...
Please.
Okay, so I need to think of someone fast now on the spot. Okay, who do I go for? That is the question. I think I might come to...
going through the team and then you've got to think of it when you get there.
It's going to be someone so left field now. Oh no, this is going to be such a weird shout now. You know, I'm stumbling now to try and push away the. Okay then. No. Okay, so my underrated Premier League 11: Meslier in goal, back four: Semedo, Evans, Pinnock, and Cucurella. My midfield three of Shelvey, Souček, and Romeu, and then a front three of Bukayo Saka, Ivan Toney. I can't do this. I changed my mind last minute. And I'm going to go with Richarlison.
Okay.
So, I'll ask Mike or Si, just say literally in the camera.
Okay.
Just look right in the camera.
Underrated 11. Fabianski in goal or Flabianski. Right back, John Stones, as Pep sees him. Centre halves, oh no, it's not Matip, is it?
No.
Did I have? Craig Dawson and £55 million Rob Holding. Left back, Cucurella. Midfield three, Kouyaté, Klitsch and Romeu. Front three, Iheanacho, Pukki and Mbeumo.
And then Si.
My starting 11 underrated players: Fabianski, Azpilicueta, Webster, Saiss, Trippier, Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse, Kouyaté, Gordon, Origi, Podence.
I think pretty solid, yeah. Let us know, guys, in the comments who's got the best team. And thanks for listening, guys. I think that's everything. And shout out to Surprise Shirts, as I said before. Go check them out for sponsoring the podcast. And yeah, thanks for the amazing shirts we've got on now. And I'll leave Si's socials down below if you want to give him some stick.
Give him 8.
Check out Mike's.
10.
Yes.
Check out Mike's football shirt shop. That'll be in the description down below. Some banging shirts on there. And his socials as well if you want to give him some stick. And leave us any ideas for debates, anything. Leave us a review as well, because we've been getting some more 5-star reviews. We're 5-star now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Can everyone please let us know, if you're still listening, is Riyad Mahrez overrated? Yes.
Overrated?
No, underrated.
Underrated.
And Saka.
I think they're both
Is Riyad
underrated.
Mahrez underrated?
Well, we'll see. These will go out as clips.
Poll. Yes, no.
Answer.
Okay, yeah. I will put it out as a poll then.
Thank you.
Yep. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. If you're listening on Spotify, as I said, leave us a review, and on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button and do subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you next week. BucketHatSam, over and out, baby.